I just made a YouTube short as to a theory of mine that states that the Fairy Godmother is actually Cinderella's mother, and that she had been a backup plan for Fairy Godmother to take over far, far away in case encountered Queen Lillian had a son. But then the question that remains is, who is Cinderella's father? Why do we never see him? And would Cinderella's lineage actually make her like an heir to the throne? I mean, if Harold and Lillian had a son, Fairy Godmother would push Cinderella would teach Cinderella that she needed to be the Fairy Godmother would have pushed Cinderella down the path of becoming the rightful queen of far, far away. So, yeah, and she would have instilled in her that destiny that she will rise to be a beautiful and wise queen. But she would have been made into an entitled spoiled brat like Prince Charming is. So maybe she had no father at all. Maybe she would have been created by the Fairy Godmother to something for her to be crowned a queen. But maybe she could do that, or maybe she went down that path. But if she really wants Cinderella to be next in line for the throne, then the ideal father for her might actually be a king, since Cinderella would be a princess and the Fairy Godmother is obviously not queen. I mean, if Fairy Godmother had in fact been the mother of Cinderella, and if Harold and Lillian had a son and she and Harold betrothed Cinderella to his son, then Cinderella would have become the villain of Shrek the Third, believing that she is the rightful queen of far, far away. So yeah, she would claim that she could take the throne, but was there any actual thing she would claim take the crown? I mean, in Shrek the Third, it was decided that Auntie would be the next king, since Shrek and Fiona would abdicate the crown. And also, Auntie's father, whose legend's name was Uther, would have very little claim to the throne. Would have taken the throne after Shrek and Fiona, but since they abdicated, it would go to Auntie. But how does Cinderella fit into any of this? Who would Fairy Godmother have got to produce Cinderella? She has blondish hair like Auntie and Queen Lillian, so the Fairy Godmother would have got the father of Auntie, Uther Pendragon, to produce Cinderella. Maybe through her magic and fame, Fairy Godmother would have seduced Uther Pendragon and made sure he was Cinderella's father. Perhaps Cinderella and Prince Charming were actually twins, or at least half siblings with the same mother. But if Uther Pendragon was Cinderella's father, why wouldn't Fairy Godmother revealed that to the world? Well, if well, who knows? In order for Cinderella to become queen, they either have to kill off all the other heirs, in which case no one would argue, in the case she would have a claim to the throne, or she would marry into the royal family of far, far away. But they'll get really messy if she married into the royal family, if everyone knew she was a part of it. So, Fairy Godmother and Cinderella would distance themselves from the throne until she was able to, make a deal with someone in order to get closer to the throne. And that just came when Harold the Frog needed turning human in order to get the love of Lillian. By likely providing Harold with a beauty potion, she was able to betroth she would be able to betroth Cinderella to Harold and Lillian's son. But why wouldn't Uther stop Cinderella from marrying his nephew? Why wouldn't Uther try to save his kingdom from the child or children, if you count Charming, from the child that he created? Well, as the only person who knew the truth behind Cinderella and Charming's father, Uther had to be disposed of, or else it would ruin Fairy Godmother's plan to put Cinderella on the throne. So once Uther found out that Fairy Godmother was trying to come after him, and he was going to take her on, that's why he took Auntie to a sistership to keep him safe. And he took on Fairy Godmother, but he was eventually killed. That would explain why why a member of the royal family would disappear and no one looked into it. Harold was under the control of Fairy Godmother. So there you see. So basically the theory is this. If Cinderella was the Fairy Godmother's daughter and the battle plan for the Fairy Godmother, in case Harold Lillian had a son, driven both women's desire for power by any means, and Cinderella having blonde hair, then that Fairy Godmother would have had her and Charming, who were both twins, with Uther Pendragon. But when the time came about that would marry Cinderella into our family, Fairy Godmother leveraged the opportunities to do that, resulting in the death of Uther Pendragon. Alright? So, and a big shout out to Isaac Carlson for inspiring this video. So, yeah, basically that. So, yeah. So that's my theory on who Cinderella's... so that's basically my theory on who Cinderella's father is, if the Fairy Godmother was her mother. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!